All right, this is going to be the first video for Notes 30B. And the first part, we're going to do some percent problems. So we talked about this in the last video, but the basic idea with percent problems, we want to take our percent, there we go, times, wow, hold on a second, there we go, total, brain got ahead of me, equals the part. Okay, percent times total equals part. That is going to help us figure out all of these questions. Okay, so problem number one, we've got a worker that's going to make $60,000 per year. That is our total, right? That's what we got. And he has to pay taxes on 30% of the money. Okay, and it's a two-part question. So I want to know how much did he receive? So that's going to be our part. And then how much money did he pay taxes in there? How much did he pay in taxes? Put all the words in the right order. So this is going to be, if I take how much he paid in taxes and how much he received, that has to create that total of 60,000. Okay, so we'll get to that part in a minute. Let's start with our percent, 30%. 30% is equivalent to 0.3 or 0.30. I never bother putting that 0 at the end because mathematically it absolutely does not mean anything. So we're going to take our percent, 0.3, times our total of, how many zeros? There we go, 60,000 equals part. Okay, and of course, let me see. Nope, not going to have a calculator there. Let's see if I can just pop it up on the side. I can. Clear out what was already in there because I don't need it. So 0.3 times 60, there's the 60,000, equals, all right, 18,000. Okay, so had to pay taxes on 30%. Okay, make the calculator go away. Calculator, there it goes. So this is what he paid in taxes. So in taxes, helps to spell. Slow down. There we go. Okay. So 18,000 in taxes because it says he paid taxes 30% of the money. How much did he receive? Well, to figure that out, I'm going to take the $60,000 that he was paid per year minus 18,000, and that would be what he receives. So 60,000 to 3, there's 60,000 minus 18 to 3, 18,000. So he received $42,000. Go ahead and disappear the calculator. Okay, so 42,000 received. All right, so either he received his money or he paid it into taxes. So those two combine to be the $60,000 per year. All right, so that's problem number one. Let's see what problem number two looks like. All right, I'm gonna highlight what we got here. 70% of the students went to the assembly. The rest of the class, okay, rest stayed in class. We've got a total here. Total number of students in the school was 2,220. Okay, how many stayed in class? All right. So if 70% of the students went to the assembly, that means that 30% stayed in class. Okay, so 70% and 30% make the 100%. That would be all the students in the school. All right, so 30% stayed in class, and that's what I'm asking you to answer, right? How many students percent stayed in class? So 30% is equivalent to 0.3. So 0.3 times 2,220 students. Grab that calculator back because not happening in my head tonight. Or really any night for that matter. All right, so 666 students. Let me get there. All right, students stayed in class. Now, you were only asked for one answer in this problem, so it's not really necessary to put all the wording there, but just so you know, that is what we were answering, okay? 70% of the students went to the assembly. So the rest stayed in class. That's 30% stayed in class. Total number of students in the high school was 2,220. So percent, 30%, 0.3, times my total, 2,220 equals the part. That is the 666 students who stayed in class. All right, last part for this video will be last problem, number 3 here. Basketball player took 24 shots. So 24 shots, that is your total. Okay, and made, grab a calculator, or made 15 of them. So that is our part. Okay, and I want to know what percent of the shots he took did he miss? Okay, so one of two things I can do here. I could set up with total and part here and find the percent of shots that he made and then figure out what percent he missed, okay? Or, here's the other thing you could do, and it won't matter mathematically which way you set this up, okay? If he made 15 shots, right, our total was 24, then he had to have missed, there's a D at the end, missed, what would that be, 9 shots? Let's check. 15 plus 9. Yeah, that's 24 shots total. So you're either going to make a shot or you're going to miss a shot. Those are the two options. So he made 15, missed 9 of them, has a total number of shots of 24. So I'm actually going to set up using the number of missed shots because that's the percent I'm looking for. Okay, so let's see. Percent. Let me actually use, whoops, hold on. There we go. Okay, so percent times total. Right, my total is 24 equals part. Well, the part I'm looking for is 9. So I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 24. So P is equal to 9 divided by 24, 0.375, which, make the calculator go, there it goes, as an actual percent. Remember, this is the decimal equivalent. So to get the decimal to turn into a percent, either multiply times 100, or I'm just going to move the decimal 2 places over to the right. So that's going to be 37.5% missed. Okay. All right. So the formula that we're working with here, right, the setup that we're going to keep doing is percent times total equals part. Okay, definitely using a calculator for these, so make sure you're using that. And if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. And I will do another video dealing with the bottom half of this note sheet, which is going to be on lines. All right, we will see you in the next one.